am more than breast cancer.
I am more than gastric cancer.
I am more than Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 3.
I am more than Lynch syndrome.
I am more than metastatic male breast cancer.
I'm more than PMDD.
I am more than diabetes.
I am more than lupus.
I am more than FAP.
Welcome to More Than a Diagnosis. I'm Den.
And I'm Jess. This podcast is about so much more than cancer, chronic illness, or the labels we've been given. It's about reclaiming our lives, finding community, and thriving in ways we never thought possible.
Whether you're a patient, a caregiver, or just someone curious about what it means to live beyond a diagnosis, we're so glad you're here.
Hey friends, welcome back. It has been a bit that we've been on a break, and man, does it feel so good to be back in the studio together.
Oh, definitely. We've really been looking forward to this.
We have such a great season planned ahead, and
Absolutely.
oh man, I'm just so looking forward to it, but we're going to jump right in. So, did you know that 70 to 80% of cancer patients report persistent fatigue, not just during treatment, but after treatment as well?
That doesn't surprise me. Like, not one bit.
Right?
Especially once you look at what chemotherapy does to the body.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying it that it affects the body and causes fatigue, severe
Yeah.
fatigue, not just a little tired, no. There's a
Right?
big difference between tired and fatigued.
Oh, huge,
You know.
huge difference. Huge difference. I always hate it when people try to compare. Like, I didn't sleep good last night and I'm so tired. And then on the days where you're like, wow, I actually got like a solid several hours of sleep, but yet still I'm fatigued.
Yeah, and I can't wait to explain why.
Please,
Pretty cool.
please explain,
Okay.
because you know I love the facts. I love the science behind it, and I always learn something when you spit the facts.
Yeah, so I'm not going to use big old words. I'm just going to use a simple analogy. So let's, for a moment, pretend that our body is a phone.
Okay.
That never charges to 100%.
That sounds like my phone.
So, in a healthy person, they wake up and their battery is recharged. But you throw in chronic illness, autoimmune disease, and post-cancer treatment, and that charger that we have is faulty. And your apps, which are inflammation, healing, and stress, these apps are constantly running. And they're using up that battery. Okay? And so you wake up and you're at 40%.
Yeah.
The moment you wake up.
Yep.
So what do you think is going to happen when you wake up that morning at 40%? It's only going to get lower.
Absolutely.
So our batteries never fully get to 100%.
That makes so much sense.
So we're already at a disadvantage. We're already behind
Yeah. That
healthy
makes
people.
so much sense. It makes me think about like the nights that I've gone and charged my phone and I didn't know that my charger wasn't pushed in all the way.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. Yeah.
So it's like, even though we think it's charging, we're sleeping sometimes.
Yeah.
We still don't wake up with the full charge.
Yeah. And even while we're sleeping, our body's still responding to
Yeah.
inflammation and stress.
Uh-huh.
And our body is healing while we're sleeping. So there's a lot going on even while we're resting,
Yeah.
sleeping. You know?
Yeah.
So,
And the thing too is that that doesn't just affect our physical body.
oh, no.
It weighs on our mind too.
Absolutely. And, you know, I can tell you from my own experience, I've had, you know, a whole bunch of mental health issues, and that was part of my problem, that I wasn't able to, you know, sleep. And
Yeah.
then you combine insomnia with fatigue, and
Girl, tell me
It was
about
a
it.
recipe for disaster. I mean, my doctors were like, you need to sleep. Like, you really, really need to sleep. And I'm like, well, okay.
You're like, yeah, I know.
Like, this is gonna end badly. You need to sleep. And I said, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't feel good at all. Like, not even one
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh, can I relate? I did not sleep last night very well
I
at
feel like this has
all.
been a pattern.
Oh, absolutely. And, the funny thing is, okay, I'm not going to say that I have the best sleep hygiene, right? Like, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I can do better. I can always do better.
I think we all
But,
can.
right? And the first time I ever heard about sleep hygiene, I was like, what? What is sleep hygiene? And they're like, like getting off your phone before you go to bed, stop scrolling, keep the lights low, all those things.
Yeah.
But I will say this, going through cancer, it forced me, or I chose, I should say, to adjust some of my sleep habits. And again, I know that there's other things that I can do better. But now it used to be like when I would have insomnia, I couldn't sleep. I would toss and turn. Even after doing things that would help me to sleep and it wasn't working, then I would pick my phone back up and I would start scrolling again.
Yeah.
And I don't do that anymore. I stopped doing that. And unfortunately, I can't really say that helps me sleep more because I'm still awake. I'm just laying there flipping from one side to the other because I'm uncomfortable and I can't sleep.
Yeah.
But I am trying to make progress towards better sleep hygiene. But at the end of the day, sleep isn't the only piece of it.
No, absolutely not.
Right?
No, it's
Like,
not. Absolutely.
There's so many other things that go into that. And I think that that's where we get a little twisted in society because fatigue often gets dismissed as just being tired or being lazy or that there's something else that could be done. Like, oh, you just need to exercise more.
Yes. Yes. And yes, I'll stop you right there. When you do exercise, it does help your body. So
Yes.
I am very
Agreed.
supportive of exercising in order to, give our
Yes.
bodies more energy, but this is different.
And that's my point. Like, I understand that sleep hygiene is important. I understand that exercise is equally as important, as well as hydration. These are all things that we should be practicing regardless of our health situation. But even when you're doing all the right things, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to fix your fatigue.
It's not. But I do think that there are ways that, we can help our bodies to not get as fatigued or not make things worse.
Yes.
Because that's also part of what we need to reconcile. And I feel like this goes back to who we were or who we used to be as people before our diagnoses. And it's just a lot to process because
Absolutely.
this wasn't who we were.
Yep.
Way back before our diagnosis.
Absolutely. Thinking about who I was before diagnosis to who I am now, rest is a huge priority for me. And it's so hard to fight against that feeling of the fact that rest means that I'm being lazy or that I'm not being productive. But actually, rest is productive because rest is self-preservation and it's not something that we have to earn. I don't know about you, but prior to diagnosis, I was in like the very beginning process of understanding the value of rest and that I didn't need to earn it.
Yeah.
But after diagnosis, it's something that I have to continue to keep in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. We've got to break that cycle because we've been conditioned to think a certain way, to treat ourselves a certain way, to criticize ourselves a certain way, and self-compassion goes out the door.
Oh, so real.
And that's a really big problem.
Huge
Because
problem.
I'm going to go back to the battery, like our bodies being a battery.
Yeah.
And so if we're at 40% and all these apps, like I said, inflammation, healing, stress are running in the background, and we need to walk up a flight of stairs, how much energy do you think it's going to take
Yep.
to walk up that flight of stairs? Because we're already at 40%.
Yep.
Which is why we need to conserve energy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we're not being lazy.
I agree.
And we're not, just want to stay home and watch TV. It really affects the quality of life.
I couldn't agree more. And that makes me think about, have you ever heard of the spoon theory?
Tell me more.
Okay, so if you are chronically ill, I'm sure you're aware of the spoon theory. I think it's great. And I am not going to knock the theory because it makes sense, sort of.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
To a certain degree. So, okay, so the basic premise is that at the beginning of the day, you have a certain amount of spoons, right? As the day goes on, each task requires a spoon. And so not everybody wakes up with the same spoon. Similar analogy to the plugging in of the phone, right? And people, they refer to themselves as spoonies if they're chronically ill.
Yes.
Okay.
I do not.
I do not either. I do not identify.
No.
I do not identify as a spoon. But I understand where that comes from. And for me, the way I look at it is I wake up with a certain amount of money in my bank account. Money, energy is my money. And sometimes I'm starting at a deficit. And I'm in the red. And going up that flight of stairs puts me further into debt because there are days where I don't really have a choice. I have to go up that flight of stairs.
Yeah. And I'm going to take it a step further.
Please do.
So in order to reduce that deficit, you need to work. But you're so tired, and not just tired, but you're so fatigued that you cannot work enough to decrease that deficit.
Yep.
I don't know if that's where you were going. Sorry.
Absolutely. No.
I got really excited about it.
No, I could not agree more. And I think that's where, for me, again, not knocking the spoon theory at all, but for me, that's where the disconnect with the spoon theory is, because once you're out of spoons, you're out of spoons. But we have to keep living. We don't always have the ability to not do anything at all. And so for me, that's where the money in the bank actually hits more for me, because I'm constantly having to go into deficit. I'm constantly having to pay back. I'm thinking about, a few weeks ago when we had our beach meetup. And
take me back.
Literally, please. Can I just teleport back to that time? But I think about that weekend, and we were staying with our friend Judy, and we had lots of activities going on. And it took me over a week to probably recover from that weekend. And I was in a deficit. And you know what I find interesting, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I've been thinking about how we are perceived when we live with chronic fatigue. Because if you think about that weekend and all that we did, there was built-in rest, and there were plenty of times where I was laying around doing nothing.
Yeah, we all were.
Right? We purposefully built in rest to the weekend because we know what our bodies need. But nonetheless, we all pushed through.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a discussion around, oh, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? We just all knew.
It was understood. We all felt fatigued.
That. And in comparison to being with people who do not experience chronic fatigue, they would probably look at that situation and think we were completely fine.
Absolutely. But we've gotten so good about trucking along. And adopting this new normal. We may not necessarily be completely at peace with it, but we're sadly getting used to being this fatigued, and that's
Yes.
why we come across as, oh, they're okay. Look at them. They're smiling. They're laughing. They're playing games. Little do
They
they
look
know
good.
inside. Yeah.
They look so
Yeah.
good. They look so
Yeah.
healthy.
Right. And then, I understand, and this is not a knock whatsoever, because it's hard for people to know what we're feeling if, let's say, we don't necessarily say it. So, and, that's a fact.
Yeah, it is.
People, our loved ones, are not trying to make us feel bad. They're not trying to, make us think that we're inadequate or lazy. And, that's something we do need to make sure we say, because you can't really tell.
Yep.
You can't.
Yes.
And that's the part, that's where the disconnect
Yep.
is at.
Yep. And that leads us to have to communicate our needs without guilt.
Yeah. And that's so hard, because it's almost like you're judging yourself
Tell me about
for
it.
being fatigued, and you think twice about having to go take a nap or rest or sit down, and you're like, well, I really didn't do that much.
Literally.
But
That has
I
been
need a
my
break.
existence. That has been my existence for months and months and months now, where I cook dinner and then I have to go lay down before I can eat dinner. Doesn't matter how easy the dinner was. Doesn't matter how long it takes me. Before I serve my plate and go sit down to eat, I have to say, okay, guys, I'm going to go lay down for a few minutes.
And then you feel weird about it. Guilty almost.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really hard to reconcile.
It's so hard
It really
to come to terms with the fact that we look good, but we don't feel
I
great.
think we're kind of cute.
Me too. We present like we look so good and we're okay on the outside,
Yeah.
but we have to communicate that we're not actually always okay.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out how to manage that money in the bank, right?
We do. And I feel like in my current situation, like, I'm back to work now, and I'm working the 12-hour shifts, but my days are 16-hour days.
That's a
I don't get
long
home till
day.
8:30 at night, and wake up time's 4:30. And my body is exhausted, and I may not look it, but inside, all I want to do is sit.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes I run to the bathroom just so I can sit for a minute. That is my go-to move.
That's
because
smart.
I need to just take a little bit of a break. And I wish I could take a longer break. My body would love a longer break, but
Yep.
duty calls. I have
Yeah.
patients who I need to care for. And
Absolutely.
that's really hard when you yourself are in a situation where your body feels crappy.
Yeah.
And you need to perform at a certain level, because as a nurse, you are required to perform at a certain level. And you already know I hold myself to very high standards.
You absolutely do. Probably
so,
an
you
even
know.
higher standard than what your work holds you to. I think you hold yourself to an even higher standard.
A little bit, So I've got to, work those little tiny
That's so
minute
smart.
breaks in.
That's smart though, because you're able to at least catch your breath and recenter yourself in that moment. And then you're able to go again. It's like you're sitting down and charging your battery just for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Like,
Because
okay,
that-
I'm at 2% more. Okay. All right.
Yes. And
Let
that
me burn.
2% matters.
Big time. Big time.
And then when you go to take your lunch break, you get to charge a little bit more.
Yes.
And it's a little bit longer of a charge that gets you through to the rest of the day.
Yeah.
What other things do you do that help you to kind of not just prioritize rest, but like deal with the ongoing fatigue?
Well, so I usually don't like to ask for help. It's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
I don't like to delegate, even at work, at home. I don't like it. It's a problem. I'm a work in progress. I'm well
Same.
aware of it,
Yes.
but
Awareness is the first step.
yes, awareness is key. But I've purposefully been very mindful about delegating certain tasks and actually asking for help, or more importantly, accepting help when it's offered, because that's another
Yes.
big one. There are
Yes.
times where I just feel bad, accepting help because
Yeah.
it wasn't like that before. And I know I keep going back to before, but that's the only thing I have to compare to. This
That
is
part.
completely different. It's
Absolutely.
not who I knew,
No. And
and
especially with you going back to work, you can compare what you felt like at work 6 years ago to what you feel like at work now, and your life is completely different. And the adjustment period is so real. It takes so much time, and it requires our favorite P word, or
oh,
not
we
so
don't like
favorite
that P
P word.
word. The P
No.
word is patience.
Patience.
I'll say that again. That's it.
Only
It's the
once.
P word.
Only once. One thing that I do to help is I've had to learn and still learning to prioritize tasks. Because obviously each task requires a different amount of money, right? It's
Yep.
going to debit a different amount from my account. If it's, cooking dinner or cleaning the shower or like even just wiping down the counters,
It's activity.
it's activity, but also making doctor's appointments, following up on phone calls,
Lab
lab
results.
work, all of that also depletes my account. Every little bit of it. And even the positive things too. Spending time with my girls, going in, like last week we went to the movies. You would think like, oh, you're sitting down, you should be fine. It still requires the energy to drive there, to be sitting upright, to have all of this sensory stimulation, to be present. That requires a certain amount of energy. Everything that we do is depleting from that account, every single task. And so prioritizing what is most important today in this moment, and what I thought was most important today, yesterday, might change.
Yeah,
And that is hard. That is a hard one for me to accept.
it is. I mean, same thing happens to me. Like, I'll go back to work and I'm like, okay, well, I should do this, but maybe I should delegate because I still have this and this and this and this. And I look at my list, I'm like, oh dear. So we have to put in the work. We've got to work on ourselves, and it is okay to receive help. It is okay to ask for help. It's okay to take breaks. We are not less than, less worthy because we need breaks.
Absolutely.
And I also want to mention that, yes, the fatigue is, we're talking about physical fatigue, but let's not forget that mind and body are one.
Absolutely.
It is not two separate. It's not mind over here and body over here. It's all
Sometimes I
connected.
wish it was.
Oh, same.
Sometimes I wish it was.
So if we're stressing about something and our body is also trying to heal and there's lots of inflammation, their brain and body, they're attached though. And that is going to overwhelm us even more. And I don't think we pay attention as much as we should to the mental fatigue. We're constantly talking about the physical fatigue and how we need to take breaks, but we also need to focus on mental fatigue.
That's so real.
Are
there things that you do to help with the mental fatigue? Because I feel like there are very few times that my mind is actually not have 500 million tabs open.
Same here. My brain's always running. What I have been doing at work is I've been forcing myself to take deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth, but a little bit faster, like 4 times in a row. And that kind of breaks the cycle because my brain's kind of like, well, I'm feeling like this, but she's deep breathing and, you know, I can't do both right now. So that for me, and, you know, this may not work for everyone, but for me, it breaks the cycle enough to give me a little bit of fresh air. Not much, but like 1%. And for us, 1% is huge.
Every percentage matters. That's so real because I just saw a video. I have a lot in my For You page. I have a lot of therapists and mental health professionals, and it's just kind of a lot of the content that I consume on a regular basis. And somebody came across my feed who was talking about just that the other day, talking
really
about
helps.
how when you're having anxiety or when you're having like feeling really overwhelmed or fatigued, that sometimes just stopping and doing some breathing exercises can help to reset things in that moment.
Yes. And for me, I'm very sensory oriented. I lean towards the sensory.
Yeah.
And so because I already know, that's why I work on the deep breathing.
Yeah.
Or I will smell something like an essential oil that's really strong. And sometimes I'll grab a cup of ice and I'll just chew on ice.
Yeah.
Once again, to just kind of break
that cycle. Yeah.
You know, or even something as silly as, you know, putting music on just for a minute, just focus. And then I will focus either on the beat or focus on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because if I'm really focusing on either of those two things, you know, it's giving my mind a little break.
Yeah, your mind has to quiet down because you can really only focus on what you're trying to focus on.
Exactly. So those are a few things that I
That's smart.
You know, do and practice, and they work for me. You know,
I need to keep those in the forefront of my mind because
maybe I should make a video about that.
You should. You absolutely should because
You know?
I think it's helpful little nugget of information that can really help somebody when they're really struggling because I know that helped me the other day when I was doom scrolling and that video came across my feed about doing the deep breaths and I literally stopped scrolling and did the exercise. Yes.
Oh.
And did it help? Yes.
Oh my
absolutely.
Goodness. Yay. See?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I think it's just one of those things that comes with practice. Because the more that we stop and the more we do it, the more that it's going to help. And then that's the more that the percentage is going to raise or the money is going to go into the account or whatever analogy that you want to use.
Yeah. And the more we will make it a habit. The more we do it, the more natural it will become. Not all the time. We're all a work in progress. Because sometimes I can't get to that place where I'm like, okay, take a deep breath. Yeah. Because it's so overwhelming. You know, so it doesn't always work.
Yep.
But when you do, or when I do it, it really does make a difference.
It does.
So
it really does.
I've noticed that awareness, we're going to go back to awareness.
Yes.
Is so important. And it's key. The moment you notice it, you're like, okay. There's that stress. There's that anxiety. Okay, I feel it. My chest is getting tight. Oh, my jaw's clenching. Okay, well, I know this is what happens when I get anxious. I know this is what happens when I get really stressed. And so sometimes just identifying kind of, I don't know, it's like almost kind of like giving you a hug, like validating that what you're feeling is so real. And then that gives you enough of a tiny break to realize, oh, I need to deep breathe.
Yes.
Let me go chew on some crunchy ice or, you know, anything that just pops into your head. Or you can even say, well, let me point to 5 things.
Yeah.
In a room.
Yeah.
That
whatever the thing
cycle,
is that
whatever
breaks the
pops,
cycle.
Yes, whatever pops into your head, give it a go. There's no right or wrong way to go about this. There's no manual that comes with a diagnosis.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
And I don't know about you, but I feel like when I'm physically fatigued and mentally fatigued because I'm stressed out about whatever it is, that wears on me so much. And that mental fatigue just makes my physical fatigue even worse. And it's overwhelming, which then increases my anxiety. And it's like this horrible, vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
And
vicious
it's something that we don't always necessarily have control over, but there are tools that we can use to help us manage those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to throw it out there that if you're struggling with fatigue and you're feeling like you cannot take breaks, you cannot accept the help, you are less than, you're not adequate, you're not worthy, I just want to throw it out there that you are. And you are not measured by how productive you are, by how many breaks you take or not take. You are worthy. And I see you, we see you, and we get it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I think that giving yourself permission to rest and communicating your needs and practicing these little things and reclaiming your energy without guilt is the best gift that we can give to ourselves to be able to keep going.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us on More Than a Diagnosis. We hope today's conversation left you feeling seen, heard, and maybe even a little more connected.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need it.
And if you're looking for a place to connect with others who truly get it, join our support circle at morethanadiagnosis.org, where we will continue this conversation. It's free, it's welcoming, and it's built for you.
Because no one should have to navigate this alone.
Until next time,
Keep living, keep growing, and remember,
you are more than a diagnosis.